Hello and welcome back to StudentBoo.com.
In this lecture, we're going to learn about conditional expressions. In our previous lecture, we learned about if and else and else-if conditional execution. So in those if and else conditional execution, we only had one condition in if, right? So what if you have more than one conditions in if and else? How do you do that? Well, we can use conditional expression for that. So we can use conditional expressions like as and, or with this two pipe sign here, and equal to for comparison and not equal to for comparison as well. So when you have and, if you have two conditions here and you have one condition true, another condition true, it's going to be true. If the condition 1 is true, if it's false, then your final condition is false. And your condition 1 is false, the other one is true, it's false. For R, if either of the conditions, so let's say condition 1 is true, condition 2 is false, it's going to say true. And with condition 1 false, true, it's going to be true. And this sign here is for equal to, and that is for not equal to. So when do you use the situation, right? So let's say you're writing a program that satisfies any condition, right? So if it satisfies any condition, you're good, then you use OR, right? But let's say you have two conditions which needs to be satisfied, right? Both conditions needs to be satisfied, then you can use this AND here. Let's look into our example here. So I've got this OR conditional expression class in here. I've got this main method, and I've got this double variable, count balance, called the count balance. Since count balance is in decimal, I'm using double here. And I've got this $10,050,600. And I've got this age integer variable, okay? And here I've got this age variable equal to 55. Okay, so my condition here is if my account balance is less than or equal to $1 million, or my age is greater than 65, equal to 65. I've got two conditions here. Either if my account balance is $1 million, greater than or equal to $1 million, I can retire, despite how many years of old I am, right? If I'm 35, but if I have $1 million, I'm going to retire. Right? It's going to say, you can retire now, good luck, right? Or, let's say if my age, if I don't have $1 million, right, and I'm age 65 or greater, let's say if I'm 66 or 65, then it's going to say you can retire now because I'm too old to work, right? So if either of these situations satisfied, then it actually print out this line of code here. And how do you actually compare those two situations? Well, using this OR symbol here with this two pipe here. So now if both the situation does not match or is not satisfied, it's going to say you still need to save money for your retirement. So now here I've declared this account balance as $1,050,684, but my age is only 55. Right? So it comes to this if condition here, and it compares if the account balance is greater than or equal to $1 million. Yes, it is greater than $1 million. Then this is true, right? Then it does not even have to worry about this situation because this condition is always already true. It's going to say you can retire now, good luck, as you can see here, right? So now let's say my account balance is not $1 million, but my age is 65, right? So it comes to this line of code here. If it's $1 million, no. My age is 65 or greater, yes. Then it's actually going to print out this line of code here. So with this OR conditions, you can have any condition true and execute your line of code. So now we learned about OR. Let's learn about the AND. So here I've got this grading workflow. So now if my grade is equal to 4.0, right? That's the highest grade. So it's going to say you are an awesome student. Now, else if, right, which we learned in our previous lecture, if your grade is greater than 3.5, but and less than 4.0. Okay, so it's between 3.5 and 4.0, right? Greater than less than 4.0, but greater than 3.5 or equal to 3.5, it's going to say you are an A grade student, right? Else if grade is greater than 3.0 and grade is less than 3.5. Between 3.5 and 3.0, it says you are an average student. Now, if your grade is less than 3.0 and your grade is equal to or greater than 1.5, right, it's going to say you need to do better, right? If it's less than 3.0, between 1.5 and 3.0, it says you need to do better. Else, it's going to say you failed the class, right? Less than 1.5 is not acceptable. So now I've got this double grade here. I've got this grade double variable already declared 4.0, right? So what happens, it's come to this line of code here. If it's grade equal 4.0, yes, then it's going to print this line of code here. If it's less than 4.0, it's going to go to this situation here. Let's say if it's 3.8, it's going to go here. No, it does not match this condition. It's going to go to this else if, first else if conditional execution. If it says greater than 3.5, yes. Less than 4.0, yes. It's going to print this line of code here. Let's say if it's maybe 3.0. Then it's going to go to this line of code. It says greater than or equal to 3.0. Yes, it's not greater than 3.0, but it's equal to 3.0. And end, right? So if it's less than 3.5, yes, it's going to do this, so on. Alright, so let's go into our IntelliJ here. So I'm actually going to go here and create a new Java class. Here I'm actually going to do conditional expression. Alright, so here I'm actually going to do public static void main string args. And in here, I'm actually going to create count balance. And here, I'm actually going to do 50,084. I think I got one more zeros. Okay, so I'm actually going to do, that's my count balance. And my age here is, let's say, 55. And I put this if conditional execution with R. So one thing I also forgot to tell you is that if you wanted to write a comment, right, you can use this double /, okay, which means that it's a comment and your Java would not run this line of code here. What I'm actually going to do is if count balance, okay, it's greater than or equal to 1 million, so which is 6 zeros, or my age is greater than or equal to 65, I'm actually going to say you can retire now, good luck. And else, I'm going to say you still need to save money for retirement. So now if I run this line of code here, it's going to say you're going to retire now, good luck. So now what it did here is it came to this line of code here and it says account balance is greater than $1 million. Yes, I've already declared this account balance variable to be $1 million and 50,000. Okay, oops, sorry. It's going to be 50,084 cents, and my age is 55. So now I come to this line of code here. If account balance is greater than or equal to 1 million, yes, right? It's true in here, right? Then, since you are using OR, you don't have to run this line of code here because OR means if either of the condition is true. So it's going to print this line of code. You can retire now, good luck. So now let's say that if I have only 50,000 and my age is 65, right, and run this line of code here, still going to say you can retire now, good luck. Here, I've declared my account balance variable to be only 50,000, right? My age here is 65, so it comes to this line of code here. If account underscore balance is greater than or equal to $1 million, false, no. It's going to go to this line of code here. Age is greater than or equal to 65. It's not greater than 65, but it's equal to 65. So this condition here is true, right? Then it's going to actually print out this line of code here. It says you can retire now, good luck. So now let's say that my age is 64. If I run this code, it's going to say you still need to save money for retirement because it came to this if statement here. Account balance is $1 million? No, I only have 50,084 cents. My age is 65? No, I'm only 64. Then it says that you still need to save money for retirement. That means I gotta work. Okay, so that is the example of OR conditional expression. Here we used OR to match this to condition. You can have multiple n number of conditions and use OR. Okay, so now let's do the AND conditional expression. So I'm actually going to create AND conditional expression. So here I'm actually going to do public static void main, and here I'm actually going to do string args like that. Alright, so I'm actually going to minimize this, so we need to understand what our logic is here. So our logic here is actually like this. So here I'm actually going to do grade equal 4.0. So in here I'm actually going to do grade equal 4.0. I'm going to say print ln you are awesome student. Else if grade is equal to, greater than or equal to 3.5, right? And grade is less than 4.0 or greater than 3.5. Between that, I'm going to say you are a grade student. So now else if grade is greater than 3.0 and grade is less than 3.5, anything between 3.5 to 3.0, I'm going to say system.out.println you are B grade student. Else if, let's say that grade is less than greater than 2.5, okay, and grade is less than 3.0. Let's say you are poor student. So let's say else system.out.println going to print out you failed the class. So enlarge it back again. So now I've got this grade equal 4.0 already declared here. So it's going to come to this line of code here. If grade equal 4.0, yes, and it's going to execute this line of code here. See if it does that. I'm going to run. And it says you are awesome student. So now if I do let's say 8, it should say you are A grade student. As you can see here, you can A grade student. So what happened here, I declared this grade variable as 3.8, so it went to this line of code, if grade equal 4.0. Now, went here. If grade is equal to greater than or equal to 3.5, yes. Greater is less than 4.0, true. It's going to say, okay, you are A grade student. So now let's make it only 3.0 and run this code. So now here it says you are a B grade student because went to this code, false, went to this code, false, it went to this one here. So I've got this 3.0, it says greater than or equal to 3.0. Yes, it's equal to 3.0. Then it's actually printing this line of code here. So now let's say if I make about 2.8, okay, it's going to say you are a poor student, right? So now if I do 2.4, it should say you failed the class. Okay, because what happened, it went to this line of code, false, went to this line of code, false, to this line of code, false, went to this line of code, false, then it executes this line of code here. Alright, so that's pretty much about the AND conditional expression and OR conditional expression. Okay, I hope you guys learned about what OR and AND conditional expression is and how you can use, if and else if conditional execution. Alright, that's it for this lecture. I hope you guys learned a lot about if and else and if using conditional expression. I'll see you guys in our next lecture.